What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Tar Heel Lunkers. We're going to do a pre-show for our next event, which is going to be this Sunday at Hyco Lake, near the little town of Samora, North Carolina, up near the Virginia border. So excited about this one just because a lot of the guys, our team included, haven't really been on the lake that much. So it'll be a good test to see how everybody breaks down new body of water. We'll get into that a little bit. But first, we'll talk about the last event too, Western Branch Reservoir, how tight of a match that was. And then start things off, though, I'm feeling a little under the weather, so bear with me if I got to stop and grab a cough drop or a glass of water or something. But, yeah, I was down at the beach last week for a birthday party. Got a little fishing in with one of our teammates, Keith. Took the kayaks out, caught some flounder. It's a good time. And I think my demise was we were there for, like I said, my 1-year-old niece's birthday party, which was the middle of the day Friday. And we got through eating. We'd eaten the cake. We'd had all that fun stuff. There was a little bit of a break in the action. So naturally, they live on the canal. I had to go grab a rod, walk down to the dock. And chaos ensued when I hooked a 24.25-inch flounder that you'll see here in just a second. Yeah, maybe not. I'll share it with y'all later. Too much on the fly here. But anyways, I don't think the niece liked that all that much. I broke up her party. It was the middle of her opening up her gifts, and there was chaos because I needed to get a net from the storage room and commotion. Everybody came down, and everybody was watching a flounder instead of watching her open gifts. So I know she won't remember it, but one day she can look back and know that I apologized to her for interrupting her party, but she returned the favor by giving me some green snot funkiness. So I'm fighting it. Hopefully we're good to go come Sunday. But with that, let's talk about fishing. So before we dive into it, got a couple folks here. We're going to bring in that either fished the last event, are going to fish the next event, or a combination of the two. So we'll talk about everything past, present, and future. Before we get into that, just a reminder, Lunkers are giving away a hat. So if you go to our Facebook page and look there, there's a post. If you get your guests in by Saturday at midnight, it's for the best 10 fish for the winning team. Whoever comes closest to that, you'll get a free hat sent your way, free of charge. So had good success last time with that. We just want to, give back, try to spread some awareness for the league, for the team, and just thank everybody for their support across the board. So the last thing I'll mention, so with the Kayak Bass Team Series, which we are fishing this year, we're really trying to ramp up interest for next year. One of the things we're going to be doing is a winter series. So we got to work out the kinks a little bit. But starting in October, there's going to be 2-man team events going all the way, I think, October to February. So if you're interested in this kind of format and you're thinking about getting a larger team together, this is a great way to dive into it. Like I said, 2-man teams. So just keep an eye out. There's a post. If you go to Kayak Bass Team Series on Facebook, you can see the information there. We're still going to be selecting some lakes, get inputs from our teams here. We kind of, we want to definitely drum up new teams and new interest, but also want to kind of reward those that have kind of fought the good fight and been in the leagues that, what lakes we want to fish. It's a grind. This season's a grind, even with 6 events. So to roll right into it into the wintertime, it's a lot to ask. So make sure like our travel's good and, things like that. It's a lot less pressure. It's not going to be like a seasonal points race. It's going to be just one-off events. So if you just want to try one, if you love it, great. Jump into the next one. It's not your thing. That's all. No harm, no foul. So with that, we got a full slate here. So I'll bring in some of these guys. I think we've got representation from all 3 teams, which is great. So fellas, welcome. We won't go into it. I know a couple of you guys are here for different events, but our event is going to be on Sunday. Nobody get too excited. Wyatt's out on the boat. He's actually on Harris. Fun
Okay,
fishing.
if y'all get seasick out here.
Yeah, getting rock and rolled. So, yeah, looks like privateers. Looks like y'all are settled up in the great rural area of Samora, North Carolina. Hope y'all had safe travels. Yeah, got a nice little country set in there. Looks good. Looks good. Tin roof. I like it.
Got some cows across the street. We feeling at home.
You're at home. So I'll save a little bit of trivia for here in a minute when we get into it. But first, let's dive into Western Branch. What a crazy event. Looking back at the standings, we had a mere 4 inches spread across 10 fish, 4 inches spread across 10 fish, from first to last place. That's just insane. I mean, it was a tight race. I think all 3 teams held the lead at some point. Each team had big fish in their live well. Just a matter. Truly was a game of inches. I mean, for me, I have some history on that lake, not near as much as y'all, but that lake fished nothing like it did last year. I think the water being down had a lot to do with that. I think y'all also knew no secret the section of the lake that fired last year was pretty much dead. So let's go around the horn. Let's see. Keith, I want to talk to you first, man. Keith, you first time on Western Branch. What'd you think?
I enjoyed it. After hearing about the last tournament there, I know it didn't fish quite as well as it did during the previous season, but yet it was good. It had a lot of variety, whether you were going to fish shallow, where you're going to go up, offshore a little bit. I seem to find my fish up, at least most of my fish up towards the upper dam. I caught some at the lower dam as well, but it was a good time. I never found the big bite like y'all did, thankfully, but hopefully, I was able to put a couple of fish on the board that still counted, so I was appreciative of that.
Yeah, I felt bad, man, because I know we had a little bit of a rough go of it at Chick Lake too, and I was kind of building up Western Branch. I said, just wait, you're gonna love Western Branch, and not that it was bad. It just that it was nowhere near how it fished last year. So I was feeling a little guilty and a little sad about it, but I appreciate you making the trek. Jigmaster, man, how about you? Y'all put fear in everyone's eyes, man. You had 2 big ones early, and I thought,
yeah. So I found that I fished the same. I pretty much fished the same area probably 85% of the day. I found it in practice. I pulled up on the point. There was a stump on the point, man. In practice, I pulled off 2 18s, and then I had like other bites, so I just left it be. But on tournament day, I went there and they weren't like I caught them on the jig in practice, so I thought that was what they were going to be, what they were going to be on. But I couldn't get them to touch the jig, man. So I picked up the old jackhammer and I started. So I was working and I wasn't getting anything, and then I saw some fish blowing up real tight to the bank. I'm talking about less than a foot of water. So I was like, okay, well, I'm out here fishing off this like the drop where it went from like 4 feet to 8. That's where I found them, and they were pulled up and they were feeding. And when I saw that, I cast it up real tight to some wood. I got 3 cranks in, man, and that was when I think it was 20. I caught the 27.5. And then I worked the rest of the shoreline, nothing. I went back out to the point where I was working the jig, but I threw the jackhammer out there and let it sink to the bottom, man. And I was just creeping in on the bottom, and that's when I caught the 21. And then I pushed all the way back up in the creek, man. I lost 2 back up in the creek. Probably, I lost the 2 within 5 to 10 minutes of each other, but one of them was probably about a 21. The other one was probably definitely a citation. The one that I lost, the second one that was a citation, she hit it. Like I was getting ready to pull the jackhammer out of the water, and I just saw open mouth coming up underneath it. So I just killed it and let it flutter down, and she smacked it, dude. But it was so close to the yak that when she hit it, she just completely dove right up underneath the boat. So I didn't really get a great hook set in her. But I thought I had a good enough hook set in her. I was fighting her, and then she came up on the other side of the yak, went underneath the yak, jumped on the other side of the yak, and spit the jackhammer. And then I kept venturing back up in there, and I missed 2 other fish. And I was like, I'm gonna let it rest because I kind of beat it up pretty hard. And I caught 2. I came back, caught 2 more 18s in there, and then nothing, man. Everything after that was like the other guys had already put up like 15s or 16s, so the smallest one in our limit was like a 16. I caught like 3 or 4 14 or 15s. They wouldn't have helped. So, but it was fun, man. But like I said, every bite I had was in one creek. Well, not every bite, but every fish that was on our board that I had in there was in one creek, and they were just in there chewing, man. And like you said, it fished completely different than it did last year. Because where you went, Keith, when you said the upper dam, that's where last year, that's where, when you talk to Dave, that's usually where we go and we do most of our damage. And that was where we pre-fished that real hard, and we noticed it was barren, man. We didn't get shit up there. I'm sorry, we didn't get anything up there. So sorry about that.
Well, and it's wild too, because I know, the water was probably 3.5 foot down. But I know talking to Sean, it was way down back in January, February. So maybe it just takes that, I know the grass wasn't in certain parts of the lake either. So, I guess you just trickle down domino effect the whole lake.
It's funny, man, because I couldn't find a moving bait bite in practice at all. But the way I was getting them with a jackhammer, man, it was I was literally reeling it just fast enough to keep the blade thumping. I was slow rolling it so hard, man.
Well, Dave, how was your day? I think I remember you said at the ramp, you caught all the 16s you could handle. You just couldn't find a big bite. You put a ton of fish on the board, I think.
Yeah, I was definitely the king of the 16s. I didn't. So Rob had a collar pattern on the jackhammer, which I just didn't have, and I got something similar, and was getting bites, but it was very, like you said, it was very up close to the shoreline or off of structure. And then I think before noon, I had caught between 6 and 10, 16 to 17 inches between jackhammers and Texas rig. If I could find wood, that's where they were staged up. But our bite completely died at noon, and that's when everyone else's bite took off with the bigger bites. And compared to last year, where I put up, I think 150 inches by myself, all 20s plus, that, I just couldn't find the big bite. And I think part of it, like you said, the water was super low. We don't have, our Western branch didn't have the grass that it normally does this time of year. I think that was a big player.
Yeah, I think that was a big player for sure, because I know that was the key for some of the bites last year was, finding those ditches and alleys in the grass. But like I said, the wood, it was interesting to me because, the One Creek arm I did good last year, although a majority of the wood was out of the water, there was still a fair amount in the water still. Now, granted, in practice, right when I got into it, we had a storm blow through and just kind of shot everything to pieces. But I'd seen enough in there to know that they just weren't there this year. It was hard to explain. But with that being said, let me turn over Mr. Wyatt, because this dude showed up. I think he was the first to the lake, maybe the second to the lake for practice, and pretty much caught him however he wanted to. I think he had a solid shallow pattern, a solid deep pattern. So what did you think of Western Branch? I don't think you cared for it much, did you?
I wish there was a little bit more stuff up shallow, but I had a pretty good time out there, because I was never, I'd never fished the glide bait out there, and I just kind of picked it up and started chucking it down the bank and started catching fish on it in practice, and I was just having a ball just going down there with that all just isolated wood and stuff like that. So I actually like it. Being 3 feet down. It kind of takes a lot of the stuff out of the water. But I had a good time out there. I went, say, after I found the shallow stuff, I went out deep and looked for isolated brush, stuff like that. I love fishing, isolated offshore stuff like that, and found a couple good places like that, and ping through all those during the tournament. Just kind of made a rotation and caught fish off most of them. There were a couple of them that were duds, but yeah, it was a good time out there.
Well, interesting for sure. I think it goes to show you too. I had a very frustrating morning because I too decided I was going to throw a glide bait all morning. So it shows you, I think it was definitely an area thing. I finally had one follower on a glide at maybe 9 o'clock. Whereas in practice, I'd caught one and seen some others, and of course, you'd kind of keyed in that they were definitely interested in it. But yeah, I don't know, just an area thing, because I was seeing the same type of structure, same kind of setup, and I just didn't see any fish follow it. Meanwhile, you're putting fish on the board with it. So, but
I had some of the same issues as Jigmaster there. I was about to throw the whole rod in the water after about 11 o'clock because I lost one that was solid over 20 and a couple other 17s on it.
Yeah.
And I was about to just chuck the whole thing in the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's rough. Like I was so upset, and when I lost those two, I told myself I was like, man, if we lose this, it's going to be my fault because those two were both 20-inch plus fish, and they were giants, man. And I was like, that would have been 4 20-inch plus fish in the bag, like in our bag, and I was like, that would have put us in a great spot. But Wyatt killed it, man. Like I was like from the way you guys talked about it in the pre-show about how good of an angler he was, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's going to do well. But he came on late. I think late is when you got your bigger bites, right? What?
Yeah. So I had that 19 and a half was about 10 15 minutes into the day, and then I caught a little 14 right after that, and then I think I picked up a couple other ones, and then once I moved out deep, that was where the bigger one came from.
Did you submit that citation yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that paperwork. Nice, man. I'll get mine one day.
Nice.
I'll get mine one day.
Nice. Hey, Wyatt, come back to Western Branch, bro. Like when it's not 3 or 4 foot low, all that stuff that you saw out of the water, the stuff that the structure you're able to see, those fish pull up to it and hold on to the big ones.
Yeah,
nice.
For sure. All right, well let's. The past is the past, so it's crazy. We're halfway through the season. All 3 teams have a win. It's halfway point, man. It's crazy. Each of the 3 teams has a win under their belt. It's been tight matches pretty much the whole way. Good numbers too. I mean, if you look at it, 17.5-inch average, or best or better, probably pretty close to that for all 3 events. I mean, you could say Chick Lake was probably the toughest, but I know Sean wouldn't agree with you because he had a heck of a day there. Sean, I'll mute you here because I think I muted you because you had a little bit of feedback. But let's talk about the next event a little bit. So Hyco Lake. So you said y'all saw the cows. Hyco is short for Hyco Tammany, which is a Native American name for the great turkey buzzard. So that's where the lake gets its homage. So a little bit of trivia for you. But I know y'all just got there today. You got pre-fish tomorrow, so we won't talk a whole lot about it. It's kind of
you don't want to give secrets?
Oh, it's a big lake. There's too many secrets. It's like ranch, man. They're from top to bottom, left to right, inside, outside. You catch them however you want out there.
Well, one of our guys got out. One of our guys was able to get out there pre-fish today. That's him pulling up right there.
Yeah. How do you have a good time? He didn't get run off by any boats. That's good.
He caught like 150 inches, in 5 minutes.
I like it. But well, Hyco's interesting, man, because I know it pretty well. Steve Perry knows it pretty well. But aside from that, it doesn't get a lot of the recognition that these other lakes around here do. Like, to my knowledge, it's only been on one local trail event. CKA fished there. I believe it was February of 2018. Might have been 19, but I think it was 18. Keith, you were at that event, right?
Yeah, that was my first ever tournament, kayak tournament. I believe it was 2018. It definitely wasn't 2019.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting that folks haven't been back since, and I kind of understand it because I would say things have changed, right? So before the pandemic, I would say that lake was always sought after as the pleasure boats, the jet skis, all that good stuff. Since the pandemic, I mean, y'all have seen it. Falls has turned into that. Harris has turned into that. Jordan has turned into that. And Hyco's right there with them. I mean, you just got to, know that it's going to be inevitable. Summertime, Saturday, it's going to be a lot of wake boats. Get out early, get your spots, all that good stuff. But it's such a great fishery. I think it offers a lot of opportunity. Like I said, how you can fish it however you want. It's just interesting to me that there's not a lot of history on it. I hope to change that. Did some legwork to get the launch fees kind of evened out. So if you have a kayak, no matter if it's motorized or not motorized, it's $10. So Sean had to help me out, get that cleared up, but we're good now. And then going forward, so if y'all like it, come back in September. Unfortunately, it's the same date that our KBT championship is supposed to be. But if something happens, we'll see. Maybe we do that on a Friday. Y'all scoot back on Saturday. But CCKF is going to be fishing Hyco for the first time ever mid-September this year. So hopefully we have a good turnout locally for that. Guys like it. It's just
tough time.
It's just a different kind of lake, but it's right here in our backyard. It's not that much farther than some of the places at Greensboro and Raleigh fish. Like we go to Mayo all the time. It's same distance. So I got a kind of personal message to put Hyco on the map. So Sean, what did you think about it? I think you've been on there. Just what you saw, like you don't have to get into specifics, but obviously everybody knows it's got docks. It's a pretty good sized lake. It's got one ramp.
It's got
healthy lake.
It's got everything. I saw so many fish in that lake. I'd pull in a 15-incher and there'd be 6 or 7 more just right on. I mean, it was like smallmouth bass out there. It was just ridiculous, but it's going to be fun. We should put up a bunch of numbers on Sunday. Hopefully the boat traffic will wait until church is out and we can wrap it up. But there's a lot to fish out there. If you can't catch a fish out there, we got issues.
Well, I kind of told Mitch last year with CCKF in passing. He's got a mission now to have one event where there's no skunks. And I think that will definitely be the lake. And I think it could also be a lake where everybody catches a limit. And not necessarily tiny limits either. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of lower to medium sized class fish, but it's not like they're 8 to 10 inch dinks. Lake Camac around here is known for that. So
no, there are plenty of decent sized fish out there.
Yeah. It's a fun lake. So
I'm going to follow you on Sunday.
What could you? Oh crap! You could just tow me, but that's illegal. So crap. And it's not supposed to storm, so I won't get a tow back from David either. So I guess I'm screwed. I got to pedal the whole way. But
I'll tell you back.
I'm excited. A little bit of break in the weather. Like it was supposed to be stupid hot today, but I know it got breezy and the humidity dropped. So it's going to be pretty decent. Upper 80s. No storm chances, so that's good. Like I said, just we can keep pleasure boats at bay for a little while, and just I've told you guys too, just make sure everybody's got head on the swivel, and I think it'd be a good time. I know Wyatt, you're excited. You've been up there once or twice, finally, and David Robert. I think
I did always have a pontoon.
Oh, what was that, Wyatt?
I did almost have a pontoon boat run over last night.
Pontoon boat, run them over. Yeah, you gotta watch out for those suckers. But I'll be interested to see too. There's not a ton of fishing pressure on that lake, and the fishing pressure you do see is a lot of crappie fishermen. Recently, there's been an uptick in bass fishermen. So I'm curious. There may actually be a bass boat tournament there tomorrow. I don't know if everybody saw that today. But there's more and more bass boat tournaments out there. Like as far as talking about big fish, I was talking to Robert about it. I think pre-spawn tournaments this year, there were 2 over 9 pounds weighed in that I know of. There's definitely quality fish in there. You got to pick through a lot, but they're still there for sure. But I'll be curious, how the actual fishing pressure that y'all see tomorrow is. But you'll for sure see the pleasure boaters. But yeah, I mean that's all I want to talk about. Really, I don't want to get too much into predicting. I
didn't see much. I didn't see much grass. I mean, we just drove over it a little bit, but I didn't really see much. I saw a little bit of grass, but I didn't see too much grass. The lake looks fishy. It looks juicy. So it's got a lot of points. It's got a lot of docks. Although a lot of the docks I saw had little fences around the bottom of it, so you can't skip up under.
Oh, there's plenty you can skip. Plenty of them.
That's like Gunnersville. You're only gonna hit the pole if you're looking at the pole.
Dude, that's all that is ringing the dinner bell.
I'll tell you too another cool historical thing about Hyco. Two things. So one, back in the day, that power plant used to operate a little differently. I never fished it back in its heyday, but go back and look at some stories from late I guess early mid 90s maybe. That power plant used to push out a lot more hot water than it does now. It was like a true hot water lake back then. And there used to be tilapia in that lake. And guys would go catch tilapia.
I saw that. I saw
in
that.
live line. And it was common to catch 10, 11, 12, 13 pounders out of there. There's no more tilapia in there. I'm sure there's more 10 pounders in there. I've not seen one, but like I said, 2 9s caught this year. But the other cool thing
I'll show you one on Sunday.
I'd love to see it. I'd love to see it. But the other cool thing was it was under study. They were getting really, really close to putting sterile freshwater redfish in that lake.
Really?
And they got to the point, and I didn't realize that they had been successful. There's a couple lakes in Texas where they've been successful doing that, and they got all the way up to the point they couldn't get the pH to match right. And I don't know, Seth Myco, he's a state fisheries guy. I want to pick his brain about that. I don't think he was around then, but anyways, they got that close to doing it, and they had to botch that plan. So what they did instead is they put hybrids in there. So they stocked hybrids in 2019. And they have definitely started to spread out. Seeing more and more of them. They're getting big too, 24-inch plus. So if y'all want to take a cooler bag out there tomorrow, I don't know if y'all want to just catch the stripers or hybrids, but I think they're it's weird because like the state is 18-inch minimum, but that lake is 16-inch for some reason. So, and there's plenty of them 16 or bigger. So. There's another interesting tidbit. That lake is, and I think we're just now to the point where the hybrids are getting in there. I haven't seen a whole. I mean, there's no impact to the bass population whatsoever that I've seen yet. Be curious to see how that plays out the next 3 to 5 years. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoy it tomorrow. Have fun. I'll open it up. Anybody got anything they want to add before we take off for the night?
Hey, I was going to say, so Dave and Jigmaster, your videos of your fish catches from Western Branch were pretty cool. I appreciate. I think it was good. KBT shared them. The Jigmaster, I assume yours was the Western Branch fish.
Yeah.
That was
really cool. I don't know if you saw my excitement in it, but like, it was. That's only happened to me one other time before, where a fish comes off in the air and I caught it before it hit the water.
Yeah.
I did that. It's your day.
I had a similar situation. I don't have it on video, so I don't have any proof, but I can't make up a story this good. I caught in a tournament of champions for CKA at Jordan Lake. I caught 2 18.5s on a quarter at the same time on a 1/4-ounce rattle trap. And one of them came off right as I was netting them. And so, that won me the tournament, which was pretty, that only happens once in your lifetime. That doesn't happen very often. 2 18.5s on a 1/4-ounce.
That's pretty cool.
I've still yet
to ever get a double up like that, man.
That's a bucket list.
That's a bucket list.
My only time. Never done it before, never done it again, but I did it when it counted. I didn't do it. The fish did it.
I've done it a couple of times, but they've all been small fish. So I need to get a good. If I can get them both 3 pounders, that I'll count that one.
Yeah, like I said in the owners message group or whatnot, I was upset that I completely forgot to go live, but I have all my setup this time. So like if you go live, if you need people on, I'll be able to come on. Dave has his stuff this time as well. So we're set up to record as well as go live for
service dependent.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. I appreciate you bringing it up. I'm definitely planning on running it. I'm going to actually see if one of our guys can facilitate from home. If not, I'll run it from the boat. Service dependent. Keep an eye on it tomorrow. We didn't have any issues last year at all. But I know Wyatt said he had some dead areas. He's on Verizon, I believe. AT&T, there's a couple dead spots, but all in all, it's pretty good. And it's like anywhere. It'll go from nothing to 5 bars. No rhyme or reason, but just pay attention tomorrow. Worst case, we'll give it an hour for uploads. But we will be running for sure. And Keith, thanks, man. I did learn something. I put some time into putting that together. I learned that short short content is short content, and anything over 20 seconds is too long. So it just didn't get the views that, so I need to go back to just what Robert did. Just the catch, the hook set, boom, get done, get out of here. But I was glad I captured that too. So
yeah, it was cool. It was cool to watch.
Yeah. So just wanted to add one thing, Dave, to what you said before you brought everybody in. So the winter series that he was talking about, it's a two-man team thing. But I don't know if you said it. I didn't hear it, but it's an open. So you don't have to be in KBT to fish it. Just get your two-man team, and you can sign up for it because there'll be opens. And it's basically we're putting it out there just so we can attract some anglers to it. You can see what the team format's about, and we can get some more teams in, next year because we're looking for 2024, 2025. We're looking to keep it going.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah, anybody's interested, jump in. I think, what we'll do at the ramp when we're done on Sundays, kind of have a quick kind of business meeting with the teams here. Because we got to pick some lakes. I know it's like we kind of probably want to pick some in our backyard, but maybe we want to do a one-off to drum up some interest, down towards Charlotte area or something. But we talk about it.
It might be a hike, Dave, but I would really like to see one of them on Sandy River Reservoir or Briary Creek because those are two trophy lakes, and I'm pretty sure Wyatt would love to chuck some big glide baits in there and pull out a 24-inch fish.
I hear Dyson can be good in the wintertime too, from what
Dyson's good in the wintertime, but it's good for spots.
Yeah,
the largemouths are a little tougher to catch there, but if you can come across some spots, man, you can fill up your bag like really quick.
Well, I know Sean bounced, but McIntosh is definitely could be one on the list. That's a good year round.
Come on, man, Sharon Harris over Mac. Vote Sharon Harris.
You want to catch catfish? Let's do it.
Hey, man, that's where I got my at that time my PB kayak PB out of. So.
If you're catching catfish, you're catching bass.
Yes, sir.
The wintertime's been Wyatt probably tell me you're crazy and I don't have a ton of wintertime experience on Harris, but from what I hear, back in the day, it was the place. And since then, it's like it's just kind of getting tough. But every lake goes through cycles, so this winter could be stupid. Mac that was actually this past year, Mac fished really, really good in November, and after that, it was horrible. Whereas 2 years ago, it was fire. Mostly, November too, but all the way December through February, it was stupid.
Hey, is that boat tournament tomorrow or is it Sunday?
On Hyco?
Yeah.
Or I don't know that there is one. I was just from what I've heard, there's some and when I say there's a lot of boats out, like 6 to 8 bass boats all day long. That's a lot for that lake, as big as it is, honestly.
So it's mostly pleasure boaters in.
100% mostly pleasure boaters, crappie fishermen. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if there is a small boat tournament out of there tomorrow.
Gotcha.
But I would highly, because with the summertime they don't allow live weigh-ins; they have to do them offshore. They did do them last year, but it was in August. I would be surprised if they have them, but I was just kind of like, more boats than normal. But it's nothing like Jordan, bass boats or anything. So
hey, what's citation or do you guys? I would assume North Carolina has a trophy fish program. What's a citation for North Carolina?
Ask White. He's the only one that catches them. I honestly don't know because I haven't caught one.
I don't know. I haven't looked. I've caught a bunch of 24, but I looked on Smith.
I'll look
on that one.
He broke up a bit, but it sounded like he said he caught a bunch of 24s.
I just looked at 24.
It is 24. Okay.
It's 20. Online is largemouth bass is 24, smallmouth is 19.
I think we lost them.
Lord knows, spotted bass is 15.
I hear.
That can't be right.
No, that's what it says. So I may not be right on that. Hey, it's the internet, so it's got to be true.
That's right.
24 probably sounds right for largemouth, though.
Yeah,
right.
I'll buy that one for here.
I know South Carolina, man. South Carolina, I think it's like 26 or 27. I was like, that's crazy.
They got Santee.
Yep.
They got Santee. What do you do?
That is true. That is true. They do have Santee. Hey, before you log off, man, what do what do you guys think it's going to take to win? What do you think the big bag's going to be, and what's going to be the big fish?
What do you think?
I don't know. I don't have any experience on this lake, so I don't know.
I can't give you a measuring stick to go by. That's unfair. I'll give you big fish.
Okay, give me big fish.
I honestly think big fish will be 21 and a quarter.
21 and a quarter? Okay.
21 and a quarter.
All right. Hopefully I don't catch that tomorrow.
And everybody will catch 10. Everybody won't catch a 5-fish limit. Everybody catch 10.
So it's that good of a lake where the fish here bite.
Hopefully. We'll see.
All right. Looking forward to it.
So I'm not fishing, and I was terrible the one time I fished that place. So I'm going to say 182, big fish, 19 and a half. Now, I know you'll beat that, but that's where I'm going.
182 and 19. Hey,
yeah,
put it in. You might want a hat. Which is a good reminder. I said, yeah, y'all go to Tar Heel Lunkers.
Oh, wrong hat.
Wrong hat. Yeah. Go to Tar Heel Lunkers Facebook, put in a guess. Anybody. And I know there's a lot of guys in our local club. So CK, I know, is fishing Macintosh tomorrow. I think. Keith, how many they got signed up for that one? 60?
Oh, it was 50, I think. I have to look.
So they're fishing there. CCKF next week is on Jordan, I believe. We just finished the Raleigh Rumble this past weekend. Be back on Jordan, so y'all to come down for that. You can go fish Jordan.
We're up to 59.
59, okay. So you had 60, easy, good deal. I'm going to be resting up. I thought about doing it, and I thought I might go out to Hyco just to poke around, but I'm going to rest up another day and hopefully kick this completely. But I did want to mention too, one of the some of our sponsors. So Keith and I went to this place right here, Bowie's on the Boulevard, man. So I know it's Myrtle Beach. I know it's nowhere near where we fish, but I know a lot of people go to Myrtle Beach, either with these teams, or beyond. Absolutely some of the best seafood I've ever had. Low-key environment, like your typical beach shack, but just awesome. So I want to shout out, say thanks to them. We went down and had a meal, presented them with a hat to say thanks. They were cool. But so I just out of sight seafood, man. Very, very good in a low-key environment. It's actually in North Myrtle Beach. So it's out of the main chaos of Myrtle Beach. But if you're ever down there, check out Bowie's. Dog friendly, indoor, outdoor seating, great food, great drinks. We had a good time. So,
and we're told they have the best shrimp and grits.
I believe it.
Tried it. I'm going to go and try it. Believe me.
Well, and you said they have the best boiled seafood pots around.
They have great steam pots. Fantastic. Yeah.
That's the best. I had a flounder po' boy, and it was out of sight. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I mean, a huge piece of fish, cooked perfectly. It was perfect. It was a good time.
Nice.
Well, Wyatt, go catch you a sunset 22-incher in the pads. I want to see it, or save it till Sunday. That's fine too.
Yeah, I'm gonna save it till Sunday. If I can catch one, right here, that'd be a little interesting.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. But
this lake has pads.
He's on Harris. He's on Sharon Harris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Wyatt, that's my favorite North Carolina lake. I just want to put that out there.
Oh, it's terrible out here.
I don't believe anything out of your mouth right now.
Wyatt fished that lake so much. Was it last summer or 2 summers ago?
Last summer.
So Wyatt fished that lake so much last summer, he pays rent to the boat ramp people.
Hey, just before you, I like to give a shout out to our sponsor, man. Right now we only got one, and that's One Objective. Most people in the kayak world knows who One Objective is. So, custom kayak mounts for your motors. A lot of people don't know that they actually do rigging. They do great work. They're rigging it's supposed to be my 2023 boat, but we're already halfway through 2023, so we'll just call it 2024
Winter Series.
Boat.
Winter Series.
Yeah, Winter Series boat. So One Objective. They got a Facebook. They got a website. Check them out, man. Mounts, motor mounts. Any type of rigging stuff, as well as Yak Attack, man. They hold Yak Attack products. They hold missile baits product. One Objective's kind of like a one-stop shop, man. Check them out. They got good stuff.
Great stuff, yeah. Local too. That's awesome. Local to y'all.
Right there in Virginia.
Yep.
I got their bow mount for the XI3, and it's fantastic.
Yes, sir. Wait till you see what they're coming out with here pretty soon. They're making up some new stuff for the.
Oh
For
boy,
me
now I
right
got
now.
to spend more money.
Got to pay to play. Got to pay to play. Well,
That's
Robert,
right.
y'all have a great time tomorrow. Be safe out there. Like I said, the other buoys at Hyco, pretty decent American fare, bar food. Millie's Pizza, though, that's the hole in the wall. But maybe we'll try to get pizzas at the ramp on Sunday.
Man, we're Navy people, bro. We ain't got money to be eating out like that. We went to Walmart and stocked up on some groceries.
I hear you. Hey, more bang for your buck too. You get bigger chunks of meat out there.
Yeah. Hey, it was good talking to you guys. Look forward to seeing you again on Sunday. And if you're going out tomorrow, be safe. Wyatt, I'm coming for you on Sunday, bro. I don't like what you did to me on Western Branch.
No pressure, Wyatt. No pressure. You be all right.
Sean put all the pressure on us, talking about if you can't catch fish here, you can't fish. Now I'm gonna go out and blank on Sunday. Watch, and then I'm not gonna be able to show my face in KBT anymore.
Nah, well, don't blank because I really don't see how you could do it. But
Yeah.
But anyways, well, fellas, we look forward to it. Be safe. We'll see y'all bright and early Sunday.
Yes, sir.
Y'all can hang on for a minute
Good
if
night.
you want.